here we go into game number 1. They're going to go PS2. King Chris again on Shulk. Sogoodpop on We Fit Trainer. As we get underway in this winners final.
3, 2, 1, go!
King Chris getting already really aggressive with that ledge. Doesn't get a lot of damage out of it, but sets the tone early. Sogoodpop is definitely going to have to play careful around that ledge pressure that King Chris can apply. We've seen it all night from his Shulk. He is just really getting up in people's faces off stage. He is fearless. Look at this. Sogoodpop just can't recover. Finally, with that volleyball spike, he's able to clear out a landing spot for himself. They're pretty much dead even in percent and looking really strong. Both these guys seem to be evenly matched for the most part. I said it earlier, I really don't know how this character matchup goes because I haven't seen a lot of We Fit Trainer in Ultimate. Ooh, nice balance in favor of Sogoodpop. And if he totally predicted that, props to him. But I imagine he got a little lucky there. King Chris again keeping up the pressure. Sogoodpop could have gotten away from him without taking damage. Got a little aggressive, and King Chris takes advantage, takes that first stock, and now swaps to his shield. So he's going to survive a little bit longer here, but he is up over 150% now. That back throw, not quite enough to get the job done, but that sunburst will take him out. Sogoodpop, nice job by him, almost immediately resetting the fight, even if things up at 2 stocks apiece. Sogoodpop though, getting bullied right now. As King Chris is back with a vengeance. He's already taken Sogood up to 90%. There's that up B, and King Chris takes the lead, up 2 stocks to 1 now, going on a big run right now. Suddenly pulling away from Sogoodpop. Big side smash though, Sogoodpop. Definitely down, certainly not out. Look at this. Suddenly King Chris over 100% on the second stock, and Sogoodpop making a run to bring things back to even. Just needs to close the stock out. Needs to do it quickly. King Chris is slowly but surely racking up extra credit. May see him swap the shield to prolong his life just a little bit. He's actually going to go aggressive with speed. And now swaps the shield at 138%. Sogoodpop just going to try and time this out and find a killing blow. He desperately needs this. King Chris just refusing to die. Second stock in a row. He's survived over 150%. Oh, beautiful snipe from Sogoodpop. He evens things up 1 stock apiece. This first game is coming down to the wire as King Chris has a little bit of extra credit in his favor, but it's still really close. Almost too close for comfort. Both these guys probably sweating it out right now, but King Chris getting some great aggression with these forward airs, chasing Sogoodpop off the stage again. He's going to be able to make it back up with a roll, but King Chris immediately sends him flying. And Sogoodpop, what are you doing? Is he going to be able to recover? He's not, because King Chris perfectly guards the ledge with that down air, and Sogoodpop tried to get a little tricky with his recovery, and King Chris read it and dealt with it wonderfully, and he takes game number 1, but it was really close down the stretch. And hopefully this bodes well and we see a 5-game series. I'd love to see this go the distance. These guys are both extremely skilled. Sogoodpop now slipping a little bit. King Chris once again chasing him off stage. But this time Sogoodpop able to safely recover. Now trying to keep King Chris from making it back up. Good up throw. Just to turn it into a little more, but he doesn't get too much out of it. Nice landing back here, dropping down through that platform. And King Chris on the back foot a little bit, goes for that down air. Sogoodpop tries to keep the aggression off of him, and he's actually going to recover that volleyball spike. Helping him out is King Chris. Got a little too over aggressive there. Did send Sogoodpop flying with that air slash, but wasn't able to recover after that. Ooh, Sogoodpop getting bullied a little bit here, but King Chris still not able to find the stock. And after a really strong start, it's been Sogoodpop for a little bit, but finally King Chris able to even things up. They're both down to their final stock as we come down to the wire in this second game. Chris, 105%, just barely hanging on right now, trying to go up 2-0. Sogoodpop on the cusp of evening up this set. And King Chris going on a run here. Sogoodpop has to be so careful. Good dash attack. Tries to finish off the volleyball spike, not going to work. He sits back a little ways from the ledge, but King Chris still able to get a lot of pressure. Sogoodpop sent flying multiple times. King Chris swaps the smash to try and finish this off, and he is going to get the air slash off stage, and he goes up 2-0, just barely hanging on to life at 130%, but Sogoodpop not able to close him out. And now King Chris up 2 games here. So as we get set for game 3, Sogoodpop has brought it close in both the previous games, and he had that lead going down the stretch, but he just wasn't able to get it done. Shulk, capable of applying so much pressure once he gets on you. It's really hard to create some breathing room and get back to a neutral state. They go back to Pokemon Stadium 2 for game 3. No character changes made. And Sogoodpop now has to pull off a reverse sweep to prevent going to loser's bracket.
3, 2, 1.
The loser of this match will take on Quadraxis. Winner, of course, will wait in grand finals with the bracket advantage. And Chris getting that ball right out of his face. So far, Sogoodpop has the advantage early. This time, the spike lands true. Good sunburst as well. Sogoodpop, massive start to the game here. King Chris already up to 120%, has to use shield. Great parry from Sogoodpop, but he's not able to get back on the offensive. King Chris making things difficult, just throwing out those nairs. But Sogoodpop has a great advantage here to begin this game. Can he convert it into a stock? He desperately needs this. He can't allow King Chris to start this game off with the lead, but look at that forward air. Just keeping Sogoodpop from getting back to the stage. And King Chris constantly landing hits off stage, keeping Sogoodpop away from the ledge, making his life so difficult, and Sogoodpop is slipping. This lead was so big, but King Chris has brought it back yet again, and it's a repeat of the last stock from game 2, as King Chris was down huge, but able to bring it back thanks to that offstage pressure, and Sogoodpop has no answers, it seems. He's at least able to even things up, but the moment King Chris has him off stage, he has struggled mightily to make it back safely and soundly. Once again, Sogoodpop out to an early percent lead on this second stock, but King Chris, we've seen it before, he is probably going to bring this back again. We'll have to see, maybe Sogoodpop can find some way to put King Chris down a little faster. He has King Chris over 100% again, but this time King Chris keeping things much closer. Sogoodpop not opening up a massive lead. He goes for that deep breathing. That's going to give him a little bit of a heal here and a slight buff. Oh, great down air! Sogoodpop stomping on King Chris this time. He asserts his dominance off stage, and King Chris is down to his final stock with Sogoodpop at 80% and counting. Nice air slash from King Chris. Lots of knockback, not a ton of damage off of that. Sogoodpop is going to be able to survive it now, but King Chris gets him off stage to that forward air. Will he continue the pressure? He's going to play it a little safe. Opts to hang back just a little bit and guard the surface of the stage rather than going off and trying to get in Sogoodpop's face. But now, King Chris getting a little more aggressive. Sogoodpop able to outwit him and make it back safely. Good forward air from King Chris. Able to give him a little bit of breather, but he's still not able to find the skill from Sogoodpop. And that air slash sending it so good the wrong way, but King Chris does finally get up in his face and finish it off. He has evened things up one stock apiece, and despite all that time that Sogoodpop stayed alive, he only got 20% extra credit, so King Chris has done an excellent job here getting back into things. This is probably coming down to a last-hit situation yet again as Sogoodpop tries desperately to stay alive in winner's bracket. King Chris, again, just one win away from punching his ticket to Grand Finals. Into the red, King Chris once again opens up some space there, keeping Sogoodpop from continuing that string, but a great back air out of shield from Sogoodpop sets up an opportunity for the snipe, and he converts it, and Sogoodpop is able to stay alive and force game 4. What a beautiful snipe from Sogoodpop. Sets up the opportunity with that back air out of shield, and then converts on the opportunity with that volleyball spike. And King Chris not able to close out the set just yet. And all 3 games have come down to the wire for the most part. So it's not like Sogoodpop was getting blown out or anything in the first 2 games. He just wasn't able to win down the stretch, and now finally getting a win on the board and forcing game 4. And it's definitely possible this goes to all 5. So they're going to go Town and City for game 4. I don't expect any character changes unless King Chris finally decides to break out his ZSS. But he may be saving that in case he goes to losers finals. And King Chris will stick with Shulk. This is Sogoodpop. Looking for this reverse sweep. He's got one game under his belt. He's got to find at least this next one to force game 5 and stay alive. We should get underway in just a second. And here we go. Game 4 between King Chris and Sogoodpop. Taking it to Town and City this time.
3, 2, 1, go!
And looks like we're
No contest.
gonna have a little connection issue. Not sure what happened there. I think King Chris's Switch might have crashed. All right, so whatever the issue was, we're back. Just a slight delay as we get underway in game 4.
3, 2,
And I was about to say, before that happened, this stage at least gives King Chris a little bit of an extension for his offstage pressure because he can use those platforms to just extend those forward air chains. Nice snipe from Sogood. Ooh, beautiful down air from King Chris. He gets revenge for the last game. Sogoodpop spiked him in game 3, and King Chris returns the favor with a spike of his own as he takes an early lead here in game number 4. King Chris still hanging around here, 129% so good. Struggling once again to take a stock. He's not going to find it there. King Chris swaps the shield, looking to extend his life a little bit and have some more opportunities to build extra credit. At 162%, he's not going to live for much longer, but who knows, because Sogoodpop is still struggling to take him out. Point blank volleyball spike, not going to get the job done. Chris still hanging around here using shield again. He's at 193%, and he has Sogoodpop up into the red on his second stock. So King Chris with a massive lead right now, and he converts that forward air into a kill, and Sogoodpop now down to his final stock. King Chris looks like he's going to punch his ticket to Grand Finals, but you never know. Sogoodpop could go on a really big run here, but King Chris looking for these down airs, just applying so much pressure. Sogoodpop with no room to breathe. King Chris absolutely dominating right now. Pretty much the only solace for Sogoodpop is that he has a great recovery. So it's going to be hard for King Chris to gimp him, but he swaps the smash again, and he gets the down air. It's not a spike, but it's enough to get the win, and King Chris will await his opponent in grand finals.